Welcome to another vocabulary lesson. Today the topic is personality, which in my experience is a difficult topic because you don't often talk about people's personality, and so you don't often use these words, but they are useful if you're describing someone. You often need to describe their character and not just their appearance. So this is an advanced lesson, and so we've got a lot of negative and positive versions of the same word, really, the same meaning. So if we look at impetuous and impulsive, I don't know if really that should be positive, perhaps just neutral, but impetuous to me sounds more negative than impulsive. But both of them mean to act without thinking first, so to act too quickly. But this one doesn't sound as bad to me as this one. This one sounds like acting without thinking in a rude way. So often when you act without thinking, you do something rude. Okay, if we look at taciturn and reserved, again, to me, reserved just sounds like shy and quiet, and it sounds quite neutral. Taciturn sounds like you are reserved, but for arrogant reasons, maybe because you think you are better than everybody else in the room, and so you keep quite quiet. You don't want to communicate with them. You're a little bit haughty, a little bit aloof, you're a little bit arrogant. Okay, gullible and trusting. This is definitely negative, and this one actually does sound quite positive. If you're trusting, it means that you trust other people when they talk to you and tell you something, when they try to persuade you about something, you trust them. Generally speaking, you usually trust them. If you're gullible, you're too trusting. It means you believe what anybody tells you. So children are usually a little bit more gullible than adults. If you tell them a story that you I don't know, met aliens the previous night, they may believe you. They're quite gullible. So obviously that's too trusting, and it's negative. Okay, bossy and assertive. Bossy is obviously negative. You like telling other people what to do. Assertive, you tell other people what to do, but it sounds positive. It sounds like it's a good characteristic because you stand up for yourself and you're good at organising people. Okay, obstinate means stubborn. Another word for it is pig-headed. I won't write that on the board, but pig-headed we also say. You don't like to change your mind. You know, once you've decided on something, you stay to your position. You stay in that position, rather. So you are determined. This is a positive form of stubborn. It means that you never give up. You always keep trying. You keep trying to achieve your goals. You're determined. Nobody's going to stop you from achieving those goals. Okay, so it's kind of a positive stubbornness. Stingy, it means mean or greedy or tight-fisted. Another good expression that we say, tight-fisted. It means you don't open your hands to give money. You are tight-fisted, yeah, tight-fisted. Stingy, you don't like to share your money with anybody. Thrifty, it's a positive form of this. You don't like spending money, but it's positive. It means you're careful with your money. Another word would be frugal. Okay, it means it's a good form of stingy, mean, greedy. Okay, full of yourself. If you say someone is full of themselves, it means they are arrogant. Okay, they are haughty, they are aloof. It's very negative. It means they think they are better than everyone else. However, if you're self-assured, it's like self-confident. You do perhaps value yourself, but that's a good thing. You don't think of yourself as nothing. You are self-confident. You are self-assured. Okay, blunt or curt means you are very direct, but it sounds rude. If you say something very bluntly, it sounds like you're doing it rudely. And so it's very, very direct, but it's in a rude way if you're blunt or curt. However, if you're direct with people, if you're frank with people, that sounds quite positive to me. That sounds like you don't mess around, you don't try to lie to them, you just tell them the truth. Even if it's bad, you tell them the truth. So you're direct, you're frank. Very positive. Okay, nosy means you enjoy finding out about other people's business. and it's negative. You know, nobody likes a nosy neighbour. But curious is positive. You know, scientists, I suppose, are curious. They are curious about the world around them. Children are as well. Extravagant can mean that you like spending too much money all the time. You love buying the most expensive things, so you love throwing your money away, and it sounds quite negative. But generous, you're being a good person, you're sharing your money. So this one sounds positive, even though they are similar. Okay, naive sounds like you don't know much about the world. It would be the opposite to something like wise or experienced. Whereas innocent sounds very positive. It sounds like you're in the first stage of life, like a child. A child is innocent. They haven't sinned yet. They haven't become guilty in any kind of way. So very different from naive, which sounds more like inexperienced. Sounds negative. Garrulous sounds like someone who just talks and talks and talks too much. It's excessively talking about unimportant things. Chatty, on the other hand, sounds quite nice to me. It's just somebody who is talkative, someone who enjoys a good chat. Okay, now let's remind you about some prefixes. So, mature, somebody who is like an adult and acts like an adult. It's very positive. Modest, when you're modest, it's a very positive word, and it means you don't like to blow your own trumpet, we say. It means you don't like to shout about your own successes or your own victories. You don't like to blow your own trumpet. You are modest. You like to you don't like to chat too much about yourself or about your victories. Okay, so patient, somebody who doesn't mind waiting, and polite, somebody who says please and thank you. Now, for all of these words, to make them negative, we use im. Immature, immodest, impatient, impolite. However, responsible, which I hope you're aware means someone who is like an adult and they answer for their actions, they take responsibility. They're ready to explain their actions and answer for them. The opposite would be irresponsible, and rational, someone who's sensible, logical. The opposite is irrational. So IR before words with R sometimes, but not always. Okay, honest, someone who tells the truth, and organised, I think that's clear. We make these negative with dishonest, disorganised. And logical, someone who's rational. And literate, somebody who can read and write, perhaps very well. We make these negative with ill. So illiterate, somebody who can't read and can't write. Okay, we have these four words who all become negative with the prefix in. Insincere means dishonest. You should all remember yours sincerely at the end of a letter. And so insincere means not honest, not sincere with people. Insensitive, someone is sensitive, then they feel things quickly and deeply. They're easily upset. It could be quite negative, this word. Don't mix it up with sensible. Sensible is similar to rational or logical. Sensitive means you get hurt easily, very quickly. Okay, considerate just means kind. Inconsiderate means unkind and very often selfish. If you're inconsiderate, you often don't think about other people and consider them. Okay, adequate is not a personality word. It just means, well, I don't think it is usually. It just means that you have enough of something. But if somebody is inadequate, then they're not good enough for some reason. Could be a lot of different reasons here, but if someone is inadequate, they're not good enough. Okay, all of these words just have the prefix un to make them negative. Unreasonable, uncommunicative, unimaginative, uncooperative. Please look at where the stress goes. Communicative, imaginative, cooperative. It's the same for all of these ative endings. Okay? Lastly, jealous and possessive. Both of these mean that you don't like seeing your partner with someone else. Possessive, it's not just about romantic jealousy, it could also mean that you like to treat your friends like possessions, like objects, or your partner like an object. Okay, but it is connected to jealousy. Okay, haughty and aloof both mean simply arrogant, and I hope you've got that from what you've already seen.